Hey guys, it's Josh from the Review Brothers here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the newly, highly anticipated release of Judd Apatow's new comedy drama and somewhat coming of age story, The King of Staten Island, starring Pete Davidson. It also stars Marissa Tomei and Bill Burr, as well as the daughter of Judd Apatow, Maud Apatow. And honestly, this film's pretty great. I actually really enjoyed myself. I thought that it was funny and it was depressing at times, and it hit me everywhere it needed to hit me, and emotionally it had me connecting with the characters, and I the development of the characters is wonderful. By the end you really do feel fulfilled. The ending was nice. Everything really worked for the most part, story structure wise, and the writing's fantastic. I just really enjoyed this. This felt like a very human, genuine, emotionally vulnerable film where you can really connect to these characters and latch on to them, because that's what a good coming of age story should be able to do. You should root for its protagonist, and you should want things to happen, good things to happen for them. The thing that I didn't like about the film is that it has pacing issues. The runtime, really, you do feel it on this one, in my opinion. There's just a lot of dead air in some scenes. Like, some scenes are amazing and fantastic, and when the comedy hits, it hits. And it never really doesn't not hit, but there's a lot of scenes that just feel like they're going on and on and on and on. And I don't know, it's not even that long of a film. It's like 2 hours, 17 minutes. That's not too long, but the way they paced up this film, just a lot of scenes going on for way too long, in my opinion. And I just think that if they let the joke die off when it was really at its funniest, it could have impacted even more. But I get they were trying to draw it out for more emotional depth and emotional weight, but the problem is they don't really dive in as deep as they could emotionally, because they're trying more to hit with the comedy, and I understand what they're going with, but I felt like this film has very serious subject matter, but it treats it very light. And I know that's going to be hard for some people to grasp, but yeah, it felt like they treated some of the subject matter with a lighter tone, and I feel like if they went more of the dramatic route, the comedy wouldn't have worked as well. Yes, but the film as a coming of age story would have been better. And see, that's the problem with mixing drama and comedy sometimes. It's a very delicate balance, and I feel like it was a tightrope walk here, and sometimes they walked that tightrope, and sometimes they didn't. And I didn't hate it. I thought it was a great film. I thought there was a lot to love about this. From, like I said, from the incredible cast that is stellar all the way through, with a stand-up performance from Pete Davidson and a brilliant performance from Marissa Tomei. Then you have Judd Apatow and Pete Davidson's comedy style writing. It's just so nice and grounded and genuine, and you can really connect with the characters. And then Apatow's direction cannot be understated. It's really, really well done here. This is his best film in a while. Uh, I quite enjoyed it. I can't wait to tell people to watch it. I think that it has a lot to offer. And that being said, like I said, I don't feel like they completely explore every avenue that they could have with this character, and some of that emotional weight just dies off to service comedy. And there's a lot of deep and dark moments in this film. It's actually a lot darker than I was expecting it to take it, but then they put it in a way where it comes off as light. There was these darker, grittier situations, and then we're back to the lighter side of the comedy, trying to ease us from the tensions and stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on in this film, and the thing is, sometimes, although the story structure is really solid, and you go from scene to scene, and they all feel like they fit, there's just a lot of things going on, and there's a lot for you to rack your brain about. And it's mostly just the main character making bad decisions, because this film, as I didn't mention before, is about a 24-year-old living at home with his parents, trying to figure out his life. And that concept worked wonders for Judd Apatow. The man-child trying to overcome the odds and become something. He's done that before, and it's something that's worked a lot. Stuff like Judd Apatow did Funny People. I believe he did Knocked Up. Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, Knocked Up. Great films like that, and even Trainwreck had its moments because of Bill Hader. No offense to Amy Schumer, I'm just not a fan of hers. But Bill Hader was great in that, and Judd Apatow just has this style about him, and it's either you love him or you hate him, and I'm kind of in the middle, honestly, with him. And a lot of people don't go in the middle. They're either I hate this guy, I like this guy. I'm in the middle with him. Sometimes I like his films, sometimes I don't. In this case, I liked The King of Staten Island, but I felt like it could have been a lot more than what it was. And I personally believe that Judd Apatow can only get better from here, though. And Pete Davidson's made me a serious fan of him with his last two projects. Big Time Adolescence, I highly recommend. I thought he was fantastic in this, and he does even better in King of Staten Island, so I'd recommend you check it out. It is about $20 right now on VOD or on demand. And a lot of people, that's going to be steep, but this was supposed to come out in theaters, so if you factor in everything from popcorn to drinks and ticket price, it really does, and especially because if you have family members that you're living with, it really does add up to a proper cost of basically you going out to the movies. But even cheaper than that, because if you have family members, you'd have to pay for them too, and it's honestly not that bad of a price. And I think that it's a solid film that you definitely should check out. Yes, it's $20. It's also a brand new film that Judd Apatow didn't have to release and could have waited on, but he chose to do that so the people who are stuck in the situation that is going on in this quarantine can have something. And I really think that this is the time that we support all creators and we support the filmmaking industry and filmmakers, because right now they're struggling. Hollywood is struggling. Theaters are about to possibly reopen, but we don't know yet. And the film industry is struggling a bit and this is why they're releasing these films on demand. They need to make their money back. They need to make their budgets back, and they can't really just do it. And I honestly think it was the right call to release this the way they did, because it feels like a theater film, but at the same time, I liked the idea of being able to rent that in my house and not have to necessarily go to the theater and see it. Although, do I believe that this film would have worked better with a crowd? Yeah, I totally do. And I think that's a huge detriment to it, as I loved being able to rent it in my house, obviously. That's a wonderful, wonderful and great opportunity. You never really get to do that with films that are supposed to hit theaters. But do I wish I'd seen this with a crowd? Yes, because I can guarantee it would have made the experience 20 times better. Because this film's comedy just hits you, and it's so funny, and when it's dramatic, for the most part, it's really tight, it's really well done, they keep it grounded. I just wish that the tonal shifts weren't like so sudden. I'm in a moment where it's super tense, and then I'm back to the light comedy, and I don't know how I feel about that specifically and the style of where they were going with that, because the cool-off comedy, it takes away from the tension and the drama that I'm building up for this character, but those tense scenes and those scenes that are really not the comedy scenes, the scenes where people are getting in each other's faces and drama is starting to happen, is the scenes that made me sympathize with this character the most, and there's not nearly enough of them in this film, in my opinion. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go into pros and cons. Cons, like I said, pacing, runtime. You just feel it a lot. And inconsistency between how much comedy and how much drama were packed into everything, because it's either the comedy undercuts the drama or the drama undercuts the comedy. And sometimes that's what Judd Apatow does, but sometimes he finds that balance, and with some of his other work, I found that he found that balance. Here, he didn't fully find that balance, but he found it towards the end. So, overall, those are the two cons. The pros, once again, the writing, the direction, and the incredible cast. Not to mention the music in this film is phenomenal. I loved the soundtrack for this, and I felt it really fit the film. Overall, guys, I'm going to give The King of Staten Island an 8 out of 10. I think that it's a solid film. I definitely think you should check it out. Try and check it out with social distancing, of course, but try and check it out with a group of friends and social distance, or watch it with your family. Honestly, I think that it's a solid film. Not when I say watch it with your family, obviously this film is not for kids, but I mean like watch it with your family members and try and enjoy it. Just don't watch it with kids. Kids should not watch this film. It's an R-rated film. Do not let your kids watch this. I do not condone you letting your kids watch this, but watch it with people. Watch it with people and social distancing, of course. But watch it with people, and if you don't, watch it because it's just a solid film. It's a really good coming of age story for the most part. And although it has its kinks and its bugs and its cons, I cannot wait to revisit these characters and revisit this story when it's safer and with a crowd. Anyways, guys, this has been Josh from the Review Brothers. Like, comment, and subscribe to the Review Brothers. Peace.